What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Surfside PPC Podcast. This is episode number 20. So episode number 20, I'm going to be going over the keyword planner. So I mentioned in the last episode is about doing Google Ads keyword research. So I also went over the keyword planner in the prior episode. But basically what I went over in the last episode was essentially how to do keyword research, and that my next 20 videos or so are all going to be Google Ads topics that I plan to cover through my podcast, through my YouTube channel, and also through my blog as well. So it's going to become much more topic focused for the next 20. If there's one takeaway from this, it's that this is very much an SEO strategy. So my goal is basically to use my podcast for search engine optimization. And in the way that I'm going to do that is to provide tips, tricks for specific keywords in Google Ads. So some of my previous videos, Google Ads split testing, Google Ads keyword research. So going to try to tackle some of these different topics that people are searching. And today is just going to be going over a tool within your Google Ads account, and that is the keyword planner. So the easiest way to access the keyword planner is to actually just do a quick Google search for it. If you do a search for Google keyword planner, you will see it come up immediately. It'll be usually the very top link. You might get some ads there, knowing Google. But if you click on the very top link, it will open up the actual page for the keyword planner. Choose the right keywords. Right keywords can help get your ad in front of the right customers. So some of the things that they kind of say to use it for is discover, to find new keywords. And then we have research. I thought this might be something we could scroll. Research, so analyze keywords. Estimate, so getting bid estimates, and then planning. So actually creating a plan and doing some forecasting. So that's what we're going to be doing today, is basically these 4 different steps and how that process kind of looks overall. So let's just say, for example, we are somebody that provides medical billing services. So over here in keywords, you might say, okay, we provide medical billing. We're getting just started with building our website. We have no clue where to get started as far as medical billing keywords. So the easiest and quickest way is to actually take your exact service that you're providing. This is where you can say, okay, we provide lawn mowing services. So you can come over here and type in lawn mowing services. Now, one of the things when you're looking up keywords, and they actually put this here, is try not to be too specific or general. For example, meal delivery is better than meals for a food delivery business. So in the example of something like lawn mowing company or lawn services, there are going to be a lot of different keywords related to that, but you also don't want to go after keywords that are people that are searching for a new lawnmower for sale. So you wouldn't go in and put lawnmower or lawn mowing even, because what's going to end up happening is those keywords basically cross into the service of lawn care. So you have lawn care services, lawn care products. Those are 2 completely different searches and basically 2 completely different Googles. One is completely transactional related for shopping. One is completely service related, which is also transactional type search, but service related where you're actually looking for lawn care services in your local market. So 2 different types of searches just to understand keyword search intent. One of the quickest and easiest ways to understand it is to basically go to Google and type in that exact keyword. So if you were to type in medical billing blank, there are going to be variations of this that probably bring up things that are completely irrelevant to the services that you're offering, or at least keywords that you don't necessarily want to target. But if we come in here and we start with keywords and say we provide medical billing in the United States, and we click on get results, basically we're going to find every keyword that Google finds relevant to medical billing and coding. So you'll see immediately the keywords are provided by relevance. You can do keywords by relevance. You can do keywords by average monthly searches. Now I'm getting a range of data, and even though I have an active campaign running, or I did and I've turned it on and off, they're only giving me a range of data here. You should have a more exact number if you are running active campaigns in Google Ads, but truthfully, it doesn't make a huge difference for your overall strategy. The number one thing that I look at is actually what are advertisers bidding on this. So the only thing with average monthly searches is if you go to add filter here, you really can't filter by average monthly searches. So you do kind of run into some issues if you're like, okay, there's some keywords here that might have 10 searches per month, which is fine, but you can still rank by average monthly searches. That's usually where I'll start, is just say, okay, let's rank this by what is getting the most searches. And then what you try to do is start breaking it down of like, okay, which of these are actually different searches? Because there's a lot here that are very similar. So for example, medical and billing, medical and coding, medical billing and coding, certified medical billing and coding, medical bill and coding. Like these are all kind of very similar keywords. So that's why I actually use this example, because I've done this before. And it's one of those where it's like, this is not really overly useful. So sometimes the best thing to do is to look in this broaden your search area and maybe even use that to like not broaden your search, but to say, okay, medical billing. Maybe what we do is we say, okay, we provide our service is medical billing services and medical coding services. And then we can say, and we also do medical billing and coding services. Okay, so we take those keywords and click on get results. And now what we can do is find, usually it's going to bring up more keywords, but if we go by average keyword by relevance, we usually find a little bit better keywords overall. Medical billing and coding online. So this, you would have a page where it's basically, you create a page on your website about how to, contacting somebody to do these services for you online. Medical billing services for small practices. So you can see it's not a ton of average monthly searches here, but it is something that people are searching, and this is ultimately what you would want to rank for and what you would want to target from a Google Ads perspective. Now, when it comes to actually using the keyword planner, number one thing is we want to discover keywords first. So once we have keywords, the next thing we want to do is figure out, okay, this is a keyword we want to target for Google Ads. Same with medical billing companies, basically anything related to services, medical billing company near me, any of these related to services, like we could say, okay, these are the 3 keywords we want to start with. We're going to target these 3 keywords as broad match keywords. Okay, so we scroll over here and now we're looking at what are the average bid ranges for these keywords. And this kind of tells us a story, because what you're seeing is these keywords that we've picked out, the bid ranges are a little bit higher than some of the surrounding keywords. And you can even see this one here, medical billing and coding online, same exact thing, where it's a little bit higher. So if we take these 4 keywords, we can kind of project, okay, our cost per click is probably going to be in the $15 to $25 range, maybe $15 to $30 range. There are advertisers bidding much higher than this, but ultimately we can probably get clicks for, towards the low range, maybe not the very low range, but $15 to $25 essentially for clicks. So that gives us an idea of like, okay, what do we need to spend to get 100 clicks? So then you kind of have an idea of like, okay, if we want 100 clicks, we need to spend $1,500 at $15 a click, and that's going to be our way of getting 100 clicks to our website that are relevant for our medical billing and coding services. The number one challenge with these is if there is not a ton of average monthly searches. So if you're in some of these where the average monthly search is 1K to 10K, not terrible, top of bid range, $15, $20, you basically need to understand that like, okay, it might cost us $200, $300, $400 to get a new customer. What is our average customer lifetime value? If your average customer lifetime value is $5,000, then that's perfectly great. If it's $200 to $300 to $400, then you're kind of in that breaking even area. So you just need to understand like, okay, this is some of the different things that we can target. Now, the other thing that we want to look at is if we're providing medical billing services are there other things that we can target that might be a little bit more, I don't want to use the word targeted, but something that would be more relevant than just medical billing services. And that's where over here on the refined keywords can sometimes be useful. You'll see here for sector. So if we click on sector, we have healthcare, health, financial, other. Service. This is where it could be helpful. So medical billing services for hospitals, for radiologists, for anesthesiologists, laboratory results, pharmacy results. Codes could be things that potentially you just write about on your blog or on your website or videos you create on YouTube. Specialty, radiology, podiatry, dermatology, optometry, cardiology, internal medicine, family medicine, oncology. So you have all of these different specialties. And as you would scroll down here, you would find all of these keywords as well. So the number one thing is to go through here and basically continue to select keywords. I like to look by relevance a lot of times. And then I also like to look by top of page bid ranges. But if you're just doing this, basically what we're trying to do is say, okay, medical billing and coding. Now from home could be somebody looking to actually do this, learn how to do it themselves. So maybe we don't do that. Chiropractic billing services. This is somebody searching for medical billing specialists. So it's something we want to target. Medical billing and coding companies, medical billing program. All right. So we have a bunch of different keywords in here. And I would basically just go through this. This is actually where I think you should take the time to say, let's go through this. Let's find every relevant keyword that we can. And let's use this to kind of come up with the pages that we need to create for our website. And then the keywords that we need to target from a Google Ads perspective. What you could do is after you start finding all of these different keywords that you're targeting, where you're like, okay, we have medical coding companies, best medical billing companies, medical billing and coding organizations. Now, online program is one where I don't know, hard to tell really what that one is, but certified, online, medical billing solutions. Okay, so we have 16 keywords. We can add these to our saved keywords. We can also start building campaigns and ad groups within the Google Keyword Planner. I personally don't do that very often. It's generally something where I use save keywords, add these keywords to create my plan. And then what's going to happen is you have your saved keywords is essentially what your plan is. It's the keyword planner. So within your tools here, and when you're in the keyword planner, you're going to see up here at the top, they have keyword ideas, they have forecast, they have saved keywords. So we can look at what are all the keywords that we've saved so far. Basically, what do the bid ranges look like? Average monthly searches look like? You can actually adjust this by location. The other thing is you can start adding some negative keywords in as you build this plan. You can name your plan here. If we click on forecast, we can say, okay, let's take all of our saved keywords. We're going to forecast what happens if we run all keywords, maximize conversions, broad match keywords for the entire month of June. Basically what it's saying is our plan, and let's say our average daily budget is $200. So we want to spend $200 a day. Our plan can get, and if our conversion rate is, let's just say 5%. Okay, so this is saying our plan with a $200 average daily budget will get 46 conversions for $6,000. So 29,000 impressions, 920 clicks, average cost per click of $6.52, average CPA of $130. So it's actually not terrible. And this would be targeting the United States. And this is exactly what it would say we would get. Since we hit our full budget, $6,000, that means there's plenty of volume out there for what we're targeting. Forecast over the next year. So you can see it stays pretty steady throughout the year with the only drop really around the holiday season. Devices, locations. So that's generally just based on state population a lot of times, but overall state volume of people searching for these keywords. But you'll see here, our plan can get 46 conversions for $6,000 with a $200 average daily budget. So not terrible. And ultimately it gives us an idea of like, what can we actually get from these keywords? Now, if we go over here to organize keywords, this is where it actually creates ad groups. Now, there's a thing here for auto organization. Organize keywords once you've made some campaigns. So we create a campaign and that's when you can start to organize them, or we just manually organize them. Truthfully, it's not something that I do very often. The other thing you could do as part of the keyword planner is the get search volume and forecast. You could take a huge list of keywords here, copy and paste them, and get search volume for all of those keywords. So this could be really useful if you're looking up like search terms for Google Ads, or you just have a list of SEO keywords from either your client sent to you or something you've already researched from another tool, or if you've already pulled a list of keywords from the keyword planner and you're looking up search volume now for these different keywords themselves. So continue to research and refine when it comes to the keyword planner, but ultimately go into the planner. And what we want to do is essentially, we'll click on the X here, discover our new keywords. We could start with our keywords, or we could start directly with a website. So I could say surfsideppc.com, use the entire website, and we have 2,500 keyword ideas. So these are probably all sorts of different keywords that I have targeted with my content over the years. Now, if we go over here to, instead of using our site, we get rid of surfsideppc.com. We start with keywords and say, okay, let's do Google Ads, get results. It's going to give us 747 keyword ideas. So now I can come in here and say, let's do Google Ads for business, Google Ads strategy. Okay, so now we kind of expand our keyword list. So we go from 747 to 1,718 keywords. We add a filter and I say keyword text contains Google Ads. We're looking for a text match, 762 keywords. And now what we can do is go by average monthly searches. And now these are the actual most popular Google Ads keywords. So Google Ads Manager, Google Ads Account, Google Local Service Ads, Google Ads for Business, Google Ads Keyword Planner, Google Shopping Ads. These are the most popular keywords related to Google Ads. So what I can start doing is using these to guide my podcast that I'm creating. But if I scroll down here, I could also find things like Google Ads Freelancer. So a keyword like Google Ads Freelancer, I could say how to find a Google Ads Freelancer, how to become a Google Ads freelancer, the ultimate guide to finding the best Google, it's one of those types of things where there's multiple angles to some of these. Creating Google Ads could be something where I say, okay, how to create Google Ads for the first time. Great. Google local search ads. There's not really a specific type of ad there's local service ads, but local search ads can essentially be its own topic of discussion that I talk about. Here is how to run Google Ads in your local market. So Google Ads alternatives, not very many. Google Ads planner, so that would probably relate to the keyword planner. Google Leads ads, so probably relate to lead forms. Google Ads keyword research, that was what my previous podcast was. So these are all different keywords that you could potentially target And ultimately what you're trying to do is say, okay, I'm creating a video today about Google Ads for lawyers. Here's 5 strategies. Here is a tutorial for lawyers to run Google Ads. So through that is actually how you would say, okay, these are the keywords that we're going to target with our content. These are the keywords that we're going to target with our advertising. And that's the whole point of using the keyword planner. So if you have any questions about this, leave them in the comment section. Thank you for listening to my podcast, watching my video podcast. These are really meant to be watched on video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments or shoot me a quick email. Otherwise, I will see you at podcast episode 21.